Hello everyone, welcome to Bayern Now, the ultimate Bayern Munich fan channel. As you guys know, the Champions League is finally here, but it's about to go. Next week, Wednesday, is the last match until we are going to, understand who is going through to the round of 16. Is it the round of 16? It's no, the quarterfinals. Oh crap, dude. The Champions League moves so fast. For a second I thought it was the Europa League. But a lot of things to talk about. As you can see by the title, just go on ahead and try to get this down. I had some music going. This would have made sense if I actually, well, I mean, you can't just start a live stream and just have the music playing already, you know? So I guess I can't blame myself. But But ladies and gentlemen, as you can see by my expressions, I'm pissed. I'm actually pissed. As you guys know, I wanted Dortmund to win. They needed to win that game. Dortmund for me is... Wait, is my audio playing? I cannot tell. Okay, so the music is playing and nothing else, right? I wanted Dortmund to win against Spurs. I watched the entire game in its entire longevity. I watched every second of it. I was wanting Dortmund to win because they are top of the Bundesliga. They are representing us. They're supposed to go on to England and destroy everyone. But we get the exact opposite. Dortmund go away. Now I was thinking, Spurs are 1-0 up. It should be no problem. It was like the 80th minute. Dortmund should just see out the game and try to get 2 or 3 goals at their home ground. Guess what they do? They concede 2 more goals. And what is that telling me, man? The Bundesliga is kind of a farmers league, but I'm joking. But should have probably pulled that up. But I'm annoyed by that. That actually did annoy me because I was like, God, why do you lose to Spurs and they don't even have their best players on the pitch, right? And Dortmund, they were dominating. They were dominating every part of the pitch in the first half. Axel Witsel was running everywhere. Thomas Delaney, he was great. And then they lose out. I was kind of sad. I'm a Bayern fan, but I want to root for Dortmund because they're in the Bundesliga and they're not really rivals with us. I think it's the real rivals in Mönchengladbach. But I wanted Dortmund to win against Spurs, man. Hello. Focus. Yeah, I wanted Dortmund to win against Spurs, but they go away and get slapped up. I wasn't thinking in that fashion. 3-0. Oh my God. The way that they conceded goals wasn't even cool. It was just crosses. All of them were crosses. A corner, a cross, and a long ball over the head that looked like a cross. It was a cross. Come on, man. Out of all people, Jan Vertonghen scored. Out of everyone to score in the world, he scores, you allow him to score. Out of everyone to score in the world. I was kind of pissed about that because if you're trying to win the Bundesliga, if you're trying to challenge for the Champions League, Dortmund, they were sitting back at 1-0. I thought that was a smart idea to try and, just let Spurs do the thing and sit back and defend better. But that's where it all went to crap. They weren't attacking, they weren't using the ball. So then guess what? They get clapped up. Witsel was putting in the shift, but he couldn't do it. Delaney, great, but they literally in the first half did everything and destroyed Spurs. Attacking, midfield-wise, they destroyed Spurs. Whenever Eriksen got the ball and tried to make something happen, and tried to drop deep, 2 players were instantly on him. And it was so funny to look at. And I was like, Dortmund should win this game, right? They had a couple of chances. If only they did better in the final third, I think they could have won that game 10-0, man. And defensively, what could you do? Sometimes you're just going to concede. We're done with that. PSG Ajax. I was pissed. because I kind of predicted Ajax were gonna win because no, not PSG, Real Madrid. I was predicting Ajax were gonna win because in my mind, Ajax were having a great run with Bayern in the group stage. They drew with us twice. They can score goals. They're very good defensively. I really like their goalkeeper Onana, because he's from Cameroon and that's where I'm from. But I was really excited for Ajax, and then they go at their home ground, have 50 million chances, don't take any of them. And guess what, man? I was watching both games. I was constantly going across. But guess what? They get destroyed. You ever just feel disappointed? You don't feel sad. You just feel disappointed. Sometimes that's what happens in football. You just don't feel sad about your team. You just feel disappointed. You feel like you could have gotten something, but you couldn't. You didn't. So Ajax, I'm 2-1. If it was away and you got an away goal, Ajax, that'd be great. But you can't do that. You can't have 1 million chances. Even VAR were against Ajax. But then again, Ajax is like Bayern. They have a lot of chances. They score a lot of goals. They couldn't. Real Madrid defended well sometimes, and they could have gotten I thought they were gonna win the game 3-0 or 3-1 or 3-2. They could have really won that game by 6-0. The way they were playing, the goals they gave up were Vinicius Jr. being a brilliant player. So Ajax, man, they're really, really in a tough spot. They have to figure out how they can get back to, because I used to think Ajax were in the big leagues. They used to win a lot back in the days. They used to be in the quarterfinals. They used to knock out big teams. They're one of those teams that they're not a small team. They're like a medium club. They will clap any team on their day. But today was not their day, and we all saw that. Now, yesterday we had Manchester United and PSG. Now, as you know, I like Manchester United and Bayern, but I like Bayern more, obviously, because I've been supporting this club. I've kind of grown over the last 4 years or 2 years. No, ever since Pogba came to United, because Pogba's one of my favorite players, so I was United, I'm going to start watching him because I want to watch my favorite player play. Robin, was my favorite player until, he's old, he's going to retire. So I got to look for someone else I enjoy watching. I can't just be oh, Robin, he's injured, but he's my favorite player. I can't do that. But watch that. Disappointed with Manchester United. I really thought United could have gotten something out of that game because the form. People are now saying, oh, the manager, yeah, he did get outclassed tactically. And I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer understands how tactics are, how, he doesn't understand basics. He's still learning, not basics. He's still learning. He's he's going to learn. One thing I didn't understand was taking off Martial. Maybe injuries, right? Lingard was injured. But the minute he took off Martial, he destroyed Pogba's game. Pogba in the first half, I thought, yeah, he had 2 good runs. He went through PSG's entire team and couldn't get the final ball through. And Pogba, I really rate him. He's such a complete player. Pace, man, he's so fast for such a tall guy, and he can control the ball in the air like a magician with his feet. For such a tall guy, he's very agile. He's out here doing bicycle kicks, and he can shoot, defend, but he doesn't defend, which you can't have everything, right? No player is ever perfect. Messi may be perfect in my eyes, right? But he can't defend. He's not strong. Ronaldo might be good in someone else's eyes, but he can't dribble like Messi, right? He can't do what Messi can on the ball. He doesn't have the Messi effect. When Messi's gonna come on, people are scared because he can literally just decide to destroy your entire defense. Well, Ronaldo can score, but a goal doesn't always tell you the full story. That's kind of my look on football. The scoreline doesn't always, tell the entire story. The scoreline is just a piece of the story. That was just the end of the story, but you don't know what the middle was, the climax, and all these things, the turning point. You don't understand those things until you actually, look and listen and hear and see the story by yourself. And that's what I thought with United, right? And some players with Ronaldo, that's what I think it is. You know, people are blinded by the fact that Ronaldo has the most Champions League goals. But if you look at the majority of those goals, they're simple 5-yard tap-ins, right? They're not like Messi where he just starts from the midfield, goes around tiki-takas around defense. Messi, when he comes on, he's a world beater. Like, even Ronaldo fans, Ronaldo can't do what Messi can do on the ball. Right? Ronaldo can maybe skip past 2 players and then he passes it on, makes a cute pass for the highlights on YouTube. But Messi will just destroy careers. So that's the difference. And like I said, the scoreline or the goals or the stats don't always tell the full story. You know, some teams might have really good opportunities to create chances, but they never did. If they only linked that final pass. And I think that was the story of Ajax. But Manchester United, I'm disappointed. But what I'm not disappointed with is Kylian Mbappe. This is a player that I've been knowing is good for a long time. You know, people are always like, Mbappe is good, but Messi and Ronaldo were beasts at 19. What do you expect the kid to do? Just become Messi? No, he's not Messi or Ronaldo. He's nothing similar to Ronaldo or Messi, right? Physicality-wise, I would say he's similar to Ronaldinho, right? Ronaldinho, what he would do is just get on the byline and run past players, right? He's similar. He has very good physique on him, and the second goal of PSG, man, you cannot deny how good that goal was. Look, Di Maria made a standard cross, right? Eric Bailly, he should have probably intercepted it, yeah, but the ground Mbappe covered in 2 seconds, he deserved to score. So Mbappe, man, he's gonna become a world beater. Look. But my thing is, if Bayern can't win the Champions League, if Man United can't win the Champions League, please let it be PSG, because I really think Buffon deserves something. He has had 2 finals he's been knocked out in. Give the man his Champions League trophy, please. PSG need to win the Champions League. He moved to PSG for that reason, because he thought Juventus didn't have a chance, but they do now. I think Juve is like a good favorite, but Juventus doesn't. If you think about it, like, they're just good tactically, but nothing else. Tactically, they're also very good in defense, but like, they're not like Barcelona where they'll beat you 4-0 and 4-2, right? No, I don't. Juventus, I don't believe Juventus. Juventus is like one of those teams that if they're not turned on, if they're not 100% turned on, you can score 3 goals against them. And that's what Parma did, right? Parma just, like, they weren't turned on. Like, a team like Juventus, just let them think they're winning and then destroy them for real. So, yeah, that's basically how life is, isn't it? We all have to accept that sometimes you can't. Juventus isn't perfect. People say they're going to win the Champions League. I personally don't think so, because they haven't done enough for me to prove that. Like I always said, I even said Liverpool were going to win the league, even though they were like 6 points clear at the time. But now they're like, well, City's on top, but Liverpool are going to play Manchester United, and that's where the big games is. Please, Martial and Lingard don't be injured. I'm going to be watching that game. Bayern are going to play Liverpool in the Champions League. Oh, next Tuesday is going to be a big day, man, because I'm not going to be at school, right? Because I kind of have to not be at school. This is I'm not going to be at school. I have to watch this game minute to minute. This is I want to grow this channel too. I really like doing this. It's actually really fun if you think about it. But when Bayern march up to Anfield, they're going to be up for it. That's the thing. Liverpool are very good in their home ground when all their fans are cheering for them. The only place they're terrible is when they go to a big side like Arsenal and their home stadium. That's where they struggle. They seem to really struggle. If they're not in control of the game, like, I don't mean control of the game like possession. Like, possession is a form to control the game, but it could just be tactics. Like, for example, Man United in the first half with PSG controlled the game, but PSG had like freaking 60% possession. It doesn't matter possession. It matters how you nullify your opposition. People always see possession stats. Oh, United got destroyed. They didn't have the ball. Well, in the first half, United literally nullified every PSG player. They nullified Mbappe. Mbappe was quiet, and then second half it all went to crap, didn't it? But that's how it is, man. And I think if Liverpool cannot control us in their home ground, they're screwed, man. I think our style of play can really work against Liverpool because we're not about pressing like Man City. Man City are like we're gonna press, and then we're like conserved a little bit, right? When we build up very slow. I always said that's a disadvantage, but in this game, this could be an advantage because it lets us, organize ourselves to be in positions. Oh, I have to turn on my music. To be in positions to advance our attack more fluidly. So I don't think building up slow is a bad idea. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's just trash sometimes when it's against a little team and we're taking 10 years to get to the halfway line. It's annoying me sometimes. But against Liverpool, they want to press you. But if we're really careful with the ball, that's what you got to do against Liverpool. All their pressing is, look, if you understand football, let me get a whiteboard somewhere. Let me get a whiteboard. Alright, if you understand football, this is December, I don't know when this thing came out, but if you understand football, the player with the ball here, all Liverpool do is close you down quick. But when they close you down, right? Oh, you're not seeing that? Okay, cool, that's trash. Well, there's a ball here, there's a person here, and all they do is close you down, and you think you don't have any passing options. But don't focus on how they're pressing you. If you look here, Thiago's here, Alaba's here, your other center back is here. Like, when you think about it, Liverpool's press is not that hard to break. It's just it takes a lot of, physical intelligence and football IQ. And I think that players like James are going to work so well because they can take the ball and turn very quickly. So, I'm excited for that. It's going to be a battle in the midfield. Where that Liverpool game is going to be won, I believe, is in the midfield. And if we have our best midfield playing on that pitch, if we have Goretzka and Thiago working hard and protecting James Rodriguez when he's going forward, we are going to destroy Liverpool. That's where the PSG Man United game was won, in the midfield. So I think that, us controlling... this music is annoying me. Us controlling the midfield, the center of the park, that's where games are won. That's where league titles are won. Frank Lampard, was it Frank? No, it was Steven Gerrard, literally slipped. He was a midfielder, great midfielder. He slipped, and the league title, literally. Midfield is where the battle is won. If you win the midfield battle, they can't link with their attack. They are not fluid with defense to midfield, right? If you nullify an opposition's midfield, they are done for. That's how Mourinho got away with playing crap football all these years, because he was able to nullify midfields, and that's important, right? Real Madrid with Mourinho, I thought they were the best team in the world until Mourinho fell out with every player, because they nullified their opponent's midfields, right? They found tactics that worked. So I think that if we can nullify Liverpool's midfield and have our own midfield work hard, it would be great. Even the Spurs game today, Dortmund in the first half nullified Spurs' midfield, and that's why nothing happened, and only Dortmund had chances. Because that's how simple football is. If you just nullify other people's players, you're good, right? So I think in the midfield, we have to nullify Fabinho. That's my number one target, because that guy is one of those players that looks like he's not dangerous, but he is dangerous. He runs and he gathers the ball, he turns, and then he passes it forward and finds spaces. He doesn't make crazy world-class passes, but the simple passes he makes that are so well placed, I don't want to see that. We have to nullify Fabinho, and that means we have to place 3 people around him. We have to. Van Dijk, we can't let him dictate play from the back. We can't. We just can't. And we can't let their fullbacks get acres of space. We can't let a lot of that happen. I think we have to, when we're at Anfield, we gotta defend deeper. because Liverpool find it very hard to find spaces. That's what Mourinho did against Liverpool, right? People think parking the bus is a bad thing. I think it's a terrible thing, but it works sometimes because it takes the opponent really long. If you're Man City or like a big team that, if you're like a really smart coach like Pep Guardiola, you're not gonna have a problem with not having space. But if you're a team like Liverpool who relies so much on counterattacks, and the opposition has 7 players ready to press you on the ball, and you can't make these counterattacks, it's very hard. And then when we counterattack them, they'll have their fullback so high, they'll have only Fabinho, Van Dijk, and their center back ready to defend. Van Dijk, I think we should avoid going on his side. That's what Mourinho did. Let's take the coward route. Let's not place anyone close to Van Dijk. Our wingers, nah, I'm joking, but our wingers should legit stay away from Van. All our attacks should be coming on Koeman's side, and then we can do drag backs and cut backs and try to score on Liverpool. I think that's the way to go. We can't go full on Bayern aggression in the first leg because they're at their home. Unless our fans are louder, which I think our fans will be louder than the Anfield fans. Why is it that the couple of days the away fans have been way louder, except at Ajax? That was the only game where the home fans were louder because they're foreign. But in the United game, in the Spurs game, it was so quiet from the home fans. No wonder United lost. And then when Spurs finally got some breaks and they got their fans cheering, I think fans play a big part in how teams play. So our fans, away fans, I think like 6,000 or 4,000 people are going to travel. I've heard they've got to be loud. So that's it for the Champions review. I am looking forward to Tuesday now because the Champions League is over this week, and I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and it's gonna be Tuesday because that's how fast things come by. And we have a game on Friday, but it's against Augsburg, but we should win that game, right? And Dortmund losing today might shift their momentum and mentality might drop a little, so they might lose more games. I'm not sure what the Bundesliga title is going to hold. With 5 points clear, and we could have realistically, if we took all our chances that we needed to close in, we could have been 1 point off Dortmund, and they could have come to the Allianz Arena and gotten destroyed. So ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the show. I like this. I just wanted to make a Champions League review. I think this Champions League has been a lot slower than other Champions League, but it's been way more exciting. So yeah, that's about it, isn't it? And I'm gonna end the stream here. And peace, happy Valentine's Day.